Well, I have some thoughts. And when I sat down to write my speech, I thought a lot about this guy. That's me. Full-on unibrow. Left side is 1995, my final composite picture for Phi Kappa Theta at University of New Hampshire. Right side, 1994, IFC Vice President. And I've thought a lot as I prepared these remarks about what the 23-year-old me would have thought about this moment and the impact that Phi Kappa Theta has had on me as a person. And I also am really proud to say that I think I've made an impact on the world and people around me as a result of Phi Cap. When I looked at my 23-year-old self, I remembered my 19-year-old self, a really insecure sophomore who had just been rejected from the fraternity he wanted to join. And I thought that fraternity was right for me. But my sophomore year, some guy said to me, come look at Phi Cap. And I went, and it was the right place for me. I was a person who sought connection. I wanted to fit in on a college campus pretty large. UNH had about 10,000 people at the time. I wanted to be more than just an enrollment stat. I wanted all the benefits, but I really did struggle about where I belonged. And as I thought about me at 19, I thought about me at 18. Because I was still that same person who always struggled where I belonged. I was a high school class officer, super involved kid. I worked since I was 13 years old, so I had my limited after-school activities because I had to pay because my parents didn't go to college. We were definitely lower middle class. I was the least popular person in the popular crowd. I was the guy that bridged the cliques. I was a previous fat kid who lost 68 pounds between 7th and 8th grade, and all of that was internalized in me in those pictures. I was a person seeking to belong in the world, to make sense of the world, to have a place where going off to college you could belong, create connection, and have an impact. These parts of my life still greatly influence me every day. And looking back on Phi Cap, which I have been in as a member more than half my life, it has been a forum for me to belong, be connected, contribute, and have an impact. And for me, I feel very reflective on this day. When I think about what Phi Cap should be for our members, both collegiate and alumni, these concepts of belonging, connection, and impact really stand out. They ground my approach to leading the fraternity. And I want to talk today a little bit about how I see these playing a role in our lives as leading our chapters and of the fraternity. I explain belonging as a sense that I fit here, that I can be my true self, and people will care for me. I matter here. And this is what it really means to be in a fraternity. To be oneself in a way that showcases your unique attributes while appreciating shared values. It's people all around you that embrace the fact that maybe you have a different perspective, but they love you for who you are. The idea of belonging to me is grounded in this unequivocal sense that you matter in the environment. Your diversity matters, you feel included. And there are times where everyone doesn't have to get along or understand or even comprehend what you're thinking or who you are, but the greatest gift that we give our members is a sense of belonging, and we have to remember that each and every day. Connecting often influences belonging, but I view the way we foster connection as more of like the exemplification of belonging. And yeah, we internally benefit from the idea of connection, but we encourage our members to do so externally as well. So what are the connections that matter most to us? Where do we want to be in the world? My 19-year-old self wanted to fit in a fraternity, but I also wanted to be involved on my campus. I wanted to make a difference both in the chapter and at UNH. I found my connections in different spaces at UNH, but that was because I felt first at home and that I belonged at New Hampshire Epsilon. It provides me with connections that still matter to me today, and as a result of joining there, I'm connected to all of you and other brothers and members of Phi Caps and families and friends before. Connection in Phi Cap means that we are engaged in ways that bring us together. We are helping in ways that connect us to each other to promote the concept of what we call brotherhood. We are connecting to others to demonstrate love to those in our communities. We are engaged in our own spiritual reflection to consider how we are connected to some greater purpose. Structured religion is one way to do that, and our Catholic heritage certainly allows us that opportunity. But there are so many ways to connect with something bigger than who we are through this organization. I think about impact. The impact on me, impact on others, impact on our community, impact on the world. Jackie Robinson once said, "A life is not important except in the impact it has on other lives." What will be our impact as individuals, as brothers, as chapters, as part of the larger Phi Kappa Theta community? And we're doing so in a world that is increasingly connected, but incredibly polarized. These will be priorities for me as president. These concepts really frame who I am as a person, this idea of belonging, connection, and impact. But certainly, I need to help our undergraduates and alumni members achieve those as well. It will drive all my behaviors, all my contributions, the concepts of belonging, connection, and impact. I also know that I need to help steward our mission, our vision, our values, our goals, which you've heard a lot about during the conversation. And I want to thank Matt for the great way he set the tone last night, talking about the current state of the fraternity. And while there are bumps in the road, we're doing really well as an organization. These commitments, the commitment to the goals and priorities of Phi Kappa Theta, are in the front of my mind daily. And the board will focus on those goals and will make decisions in the best interests of our undergraduate members and all members of Phi Kappa Theta. I need to help a great staff enact the priorities of our board. I need to lead our board. It's clear from the last 24 hours that communication, transparency, and a need to make time for brothers' voices is very pressing, and it'll be a priority for me. We also need to invest in a relationship with the foundation that is driven by a commitment towards shared goals. And I'm pleased to say that we're going to enter into a partnership in order to look at our strategic plans and work to create some synergy across the two organizations. These are the things that I aspire to do. I never set out to be fraternity president. I feel almost like an imposter in some ways because this wasn't the path I chose. People have had conversations with me in the past where I flat out said no. But I think at this point, being called to serve, I'm just grateful. And I know what lies ahead is probably one of the greatest challenges I've ever experienced. And again, while listening the last 24 hours, I'm a little queasy about this responsibility. I actually think I'm the right person to lead after all. I think I can be the person that communicates and listens and does the things I have to do. As I thought about this time, I thought about gratitude. And there's many people to thank, but I want to focus on those that will give me the most gracious space to be the best president I can be. Because it takes away from my other priorities, right? I mean, these are my top priorities, my job and my family. Phi Kap's a strong number 3, people. I promise you that. But these folks will lose out because of my dedication to you. And I only tell you that because I want you to know that I'm choosing to make this decision with that in mind. I've talked to these people about the investment I'm going to make in this organization. So my team at LSU, Emily and Brandon, I am the Assistant Vice President for Student Affairs at LSU. Excited to have a chapter back there in just 18 months. Part of my job, though, on that campus is to work with staff across 14 units to create a sense of belonging, connection, and impact that students experience in the 153 hours when they're not in a classroom. So these ideas of belonging, connection, and impact, they matter to me in my work as well. So Emily and Brandon, I'm grateful, but they also see a lot of synergy here. As an Alpha Phi Alpha member and a Delta Gamma member, they also understand my affinity for Greek life. The bottom picture is my family, and I often attribute meeting Amanda through Phi Cap. It wasn't at some formal at UNH, but my decision to join Phi Cap at UNH, a chapter where I could be myself, get involved, make a contribution, it led me on a path to work in higher education, and that's where I met her. And I will say that as a Zeta Tau Alpha member, she understands it, but she is concerned about my time because we got 2 kids there, and one of them is a load of demand. I mean, they are just a lot to take care of. But I love them to the ends of the earth, and I'm going to do whatever I take to be the best dad and partner I can be. But Amanda understands. She believes in me. She's committed to me being successful in this position. So she's giving me the gracious space in order to do the work I need to do to help you all out. And to be the leader I need to be, to lead the board, etc. I also want to thank Matt for his leadership. You know, I'm not good at formality. I'm not good at regalia. I hate that huge, what's it called, the gavel, right? And so I don't love all that stuff. But I love Matt, I love the people I'm doing the work with, and I'd love to be a part of this. I just want you to know that I appreciate the work that Matt has done so much, and I'm just grateful that I'm able to have 2 more years of his service, and hopefully more, as he returns to the board. I want to also thank my incoming board as well, because I think we have to be all in on elevating our organization. We have to be all in on this. To be 19 again and to know the way this would impact my life, I can't even imagine. But what I know is that I stand here grateful, aware of the magnitude, ready to lead by engaging others, committed to investing with the board, with staff, and volunteers to achieve the aims of the fraternity, and dedicated to ensuring our members feel belonging, create connection, and make their impact wherever they are called to serve as part of Phi Kappa Theta. Thank you for the opportunity to serve.